I've been obsessed with simple writing for the last 2 days. I started this course from Parr. Parr, he is the founder of The Hustle, sold it to HubSpot for tens of millions of dollars. He loves copywriting. Now he is co-host of My First Million. He has this social club for entrepreneurs called Hampton. And he also has a copywriting course. I'm already a pretty good copywriter. I didn't realize just how good I was until I started taking this course and then reading my current copy. I had to learn how to write when I was learning SEO. Part of doing search engine optimization is being a great writer. I had to learn people like short sentences. They like short paragraphs. They like reading at a 6th grade level. I had to learn, or less. I had to learn all this stuff, but I still feel, I'm forever a learner. I can improve even the things I am tremendous at. I can get much better at. There's always a next level. And the thing about copywriting is even a 1% increase can yield a tremendous return on investment. And a 25% increase, which is what I'm probably getting from this course, despite already being a pretty good writer. Crazy return, 25%, crazy return. And if you have never practiced copywriting, another reason that I think I'm already good at it is because I literally write every day and have been writing every day since June 2009 when I started my daily journal. Talked about this journal on previous episodes. I have a daily journal that I keep every day. I have a marketing journal, a normal marketing journal, and normal daily journal, and I write everything. I have basically a time machine. I talk about the people that I've talked to, who I've met, where I met them, what I've done, everything. And I write it in a way that I want it to be entertaining for me to go back to. Because of that, I believe I've improved at writing. But if you're not somebody who does something like that, or you don't do writing frequently, doing a copywriting course like this, tremendous benefit to your life. Like, I don't know, ROI 500%, 1,000%. Most people's paragraphs are way too long. Most people's paragraphs are 4 sentences because I remember in school that's what we were taught. A paragraph should be 3 to 4 sentences. Garbage. A paragraph should be 1 sentence. It should be sometimes I will make a paragraph half a sentence. I am not even joking. Sometimes I will make a paragraph half a sentence. Max, I will have a paragraph 3 sentences. That's max, and that's rare. That is rare. 1 to 2 sentences is normal. 3 sentences is rare. 4 sentences, no. Nope, no. Half a sentence, sometimes I'll do that. So anyway, I like this course. It's called CopyThat, CopyThat.com. And what I'm going to share today is from lesson 4. And it's Stephen King's Toolbox. That's what this is called. Stephen King's Toolbox. Lesson 4 of the CopyThat course is all about simple, easy to read, flowing, easy to understand, punchy writing. I love this style of writing. And doing this lesson just reminds me of why I love it. The thing about this course that's cool is it makes you write all of these. It sends you a different, incredible piece of copy every day, and then you have to write that piece of copy by hand. And I'm someone who spends all my time on a computer. I'm always typing. When I started this course a couple of days ago, I realized I had basically forgotten how to write by hand, and now my handwriting has gotten so much better, but it hurt at the beginning. But by doing it by hand, you just internalize all of this so much more. It can be exhausting, but you internalize it so much more. It's so good for you. And like I said, the ROI on getting better at writing copy, crazy. So I want to read Stephen King's Toolbox. If you like this, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. When I read this the first time yesterday morning, I said, this is incredible. I have to share this on the podcast. Stephen King's Toolbox. This is from Stephen King now. The timid fellow writes, the meeting will be held at 7 o'clock, because that somehow says to him, put it this way and people will believe you really know. Purge this quizzling thought. Don't be a muggle. Throw back your shoulders, stick out your chin, and put that meeting in charge. Right. The meeting's at 7. All right, I want to compare those really fast. The meeting, this is Edward now. The first one was the meeting will be held at 7 o'clock. And this is the passive voice. And if you have ever learned anything about writing on the internet and just writing in general, you know that the passive voice, you don't want to write in the passive voice. And Stephen King in this article explains why you don't want to do that. But the way that it should be said is the meeting's at 7. How much better does that sound? The meeting will be held at 7 o'clock versus the meeting's at 7. So much better. Back to Stephen King. There, by God, don't you feel better? I won't say there's no place for the passive tense. Suppose, for instance, a fellow dies in the kitchen but ends up somewhere else. The body was carried from the kitchen and placed on the parlor sofa is a fair way to put this, although was carried and was placed still irk the out of me. I accept them, but I don't embrace them. What I would embrace is Freddie and Mira carried the body out of the kitchen and laid it on the parlor sofa. I want to just compare those again. The first one was the body was carried from the kitchen and placed on the parlor sofa. And then the better one is Freddie and Mira carried the body out of the kitchen and laid it on the parlor sofa. Okay, back to Stephen King. Why does the body have to be the subject of the sentence anyway? It's dead, for Christ's sake. Forget about it. 2 pages of the passive voice, just about any business document ever written. In other words, not to mention reams of bad fiction, make me want to scream. It's weak. It's circuitous. It's frequently torturous as well. I love that sentence. I'm going to read this one more time. It's weak. It's circuitous, and it's frequently torturous as well. How about this? This is so funny. How about this? My first kiss will always be recalled by me as how my romance with Shina was begun. Oh man, who farted, right? A simpler way to express this idea, sweeter and more forceful as well, might be this. My romance with Shayna began with our first kiss. I'll never forget it. I'm not in love with this because it uses with twice in 4 words, but at least we're out of that awful passive voice. You might also notice how much simpler the thought is to understand when it's broken up into 2 thoughts. This makes matters easier for the reader, and the reader must always be your main concern. Without constant reader, you are just a voice quacking in the void. And it's no walk in the park being the guy on the receiving end. Here's in quotes. Will Stunk felt the reader was in serious trouble most of the time, E.B. White writes in his introduction to The Elements of Style, a man floundering in a swamp, and that it was the duty of anyone trying to write English to drain this swamp quickly and get this man up on dry ground, or at least throw him a rope. And remember, the writer threw the rope, not the rope was thrown by the writer. Please, oh please. The other piece of advice I want to give you before moving on to the next level of the toolbox is this. Adverbs, you will remember from your own version of business English, are words that modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. They're the ones that usually end in ly, in ly. Adverbs, like the passive voice, seem to have been created with the timid writer in mind. With the passive voice, the writer usually expresses fear of not being taken seriously. It is the voice. I want to read this one more time. This sentence is so incredible. This paragraph is so incredible. With the passive voice, the writer usually expresses fear of not being taken seriously. It is the voice of little boys wearing shoe polish mustaches and little girls clumping around in mommy's high heels. With adverbs, the writer usually tells us he or she is afraid he or she isn't expressing himself or herself clearly, that he or she is not getting the point or the picture across. That's an excerpt from Stephen King's Toolbox and from the CopyThat course from Sam Parr, CopyThat.com. I have 1 more week left in this course. It's super useful. Happy that I'm doing it. This is episode. This is a big one. This is episode 100 of the Edward Show, and I want to take this moment to say something very heartfelt. I want to thank everybody who tunes in, everybody who listens sometimes, who listens often, everybody who listens. You know, I try to do my best to bring a ton of value every single day. This is a daily show. I haven't missed a day. The way that it started, I started it a week before deciding to make it daily. And then one day I said, man, it would be so cool if the podcast was daily. That would bring so much more value and make me stand out. But I said, oh, it would be so much. But then I said, but it would be such a standout thing to do. And then I just said, F it. I'm going to do it. I said, I'm going to do it. And I told this to a friend. My friend didn't actually think I would do it. And then a few hours later, I had episode number 2 up. The next day, I had episode number 3 up. The day after that, episode number 4 up. I haven't missed a day since saying I was going to go daily. And I like I said, I do my best to bring a ton of value every day. And I hope that's what I'm doing. I try to bring unique insights, experiences, stories, useful, actionable advice. I really feel like not enough business podcasts give actionable advice. They give mindset, which is great and important, but that actionable, specific advice. And I really try to bring that in as many episodes as I can, or entertaining stories that also have those pieces of advice. So without further ado, thank you everybody again. This is episode 100 of The Edward Show, and I will talk to all of you again tomorrow. Bye now.